Tell me, though, what's his technique? That last strike, it seems invincible.
Hello and welcome to Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist podcast, the title that gets less relevant every week. My name is Connor.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Emma.
And we're here to talk about AXE, AXE. I guess it stands for Avengers X-Men Eternals Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. You know, I read the synopsis for the event and I was rolling my eyes because I didn't realize I was still doing the X-Men Krakoa stuff, but I like the idea of everyone being judged on one day.
No, it's
like it's a cool
the event's been pretty good. I wasn't going to keep up with it as much as I did, but then because there's something I find very stilted about Kieran Gillen's writing. Like, it's very good and it always sort of grabs me, but it's in some way very intellectual, clinical type. And this has been very like that because it's got a narration. So there's a lot of sort of fairly poncy stuff. But it's actually, where it's good, it's really good. And the whole idea of the being judged individually so that he can judge the world, when he sort of like added up everyone's, it's made for some interesting issues.
Just reminds me of that Red Dwarf episode.
Yeah, like Hawkeye had a quite fun issue where they did this kind of, we'll judge you against if you're more useful than a mailbox, which sounds rude, but within the context of the storytelling of the issue, that they explain why the mailbox is useful, and it's not just about Hawkeye, it's about Avengers as a whole, like what makes superheroes useful. Like, I think the downside to that issue is that you could have like chucked any superhero in there,
right,
and it would have worked. Like, so some of the judgments have been fun, and then some of them have been unexpected. Like, so people that you assume would pass have been getting the thumbs down. People you assume, like people like Doom, that you think might be, you know, well, he doesn't. I think he walks away because he doesn't care about the judgment.
Of course, Doom overrules the judgment because he's Doom and he's.
Well,
he
doesn't overrule it, and I don't think you even get to see the judgment. You just get this kind of like voiceover of, yeah, why would he care, kind of thing. I mean, he's not the only one that ignores it. So I think Charles Xavier does as well. Kind of like, I don't have time for this kind of thing. But so there's been some really interesting things that definitely picked up once the judgment came on. So yeah, so now we get Iron Fist kind of. See if that's one of the good ones or not.
It's a fun idea for an event, because obviously with events you have a lot of characters, and it seems like one that's very tailored to being aimed at kind of individual characters and having a lot of variety to the stories.
Yeah. And it's good because you can tie, like they did one for Iron Man, so you can tie in a lot of the sort of past history and loose ends and touch on some of the things that make these characters so unique. It's very hard with Iron Fist because none of us really know Lin-Lee very well.
Well, Swordmaster fans do.
But
just
there's
call
number
this
one
Swordmaster. Like, I'm
number
serious.
One, I don't disagree with you, but number one, there's not that many Swordmaster fans either, and there wasn't that much Swordmaster comics before he became Iron Fist as well. Or as Connor termed him this morning, Sword Fist. Which is, you know, sounds like it should be a shipping name, but actually works quite well.
Yeah, I mean, I said Sword Fist,
I
I was like, wait a minute, just this.
It works,
this is the name.
That is
Sword
correct.
Fist. Yeah. I mean, it happens in the issue. Like he's got like the Wolverine thing going on. He's got swords coming out of his fists. So
yeah, but yeah, I didn't find the judgment to be relevant to him being to his past as Swordmaster. I didn't learn much about his past as Swordmaster in this. It's kind of.
It was odd. It was. Yeah, it was weird. Like, I mean, to be honest, I was more focused on Loki's Judgment, then
I agreed.
Me
I mean,
too,
like,
absolutely.
that was the big pull for me, and it was the more interesting story
well,
in
it
a way.
happened first
Because we know Loki more as well. You
Yeah.
know, and the other interesting thing with the other judgments is that the people judging them have been people close to them. So say for the Hawkeye one, you start with Natasha laying it out, and then you get these other people that have been part of his life. And the same with Iron Man, you go from like Howard to Sunset Bane, and Pepper and all that. So, like, we don't know that many people in Lindley's life except from the 5 issues of Iron Fist we've read. So
it's not even.
There's not as much of a sort of.
The Judgment is basically like, are you worthy of your powers? Because you haven't beaten Shao-El. And that's like, for me, it's an odd judgment for this Celestial.
I don't. The Celestial doesn't need to be judging that. Everyone else should be judging him on that. The whole of Kunlun should be judging him on that, not the Celestial. Because the Celestial is very much for everyone else. Is like, are you a good person?
Yeah, and that's what it was with Loki. So, and the reason it was more focused on Loki is because, well, Loki's happens first. Like, his judgment happens first. And, I mean, we get the teaser at the start. Like, the first 2 pages. With some really nice artwork of Shao-El by Michael YG.
Beautiful artwork.
But, it starts Loki, and Loki's judgment still happens through Lin-Lei, so I guess I was always kind of a bit more focused on him, because, as we said, Lin-Lei's so vague.
Mm-hmm.
Or Lin-Lei, sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. But,
I don't know how
so...
Yeah, I find Loki to be just a much more engaging character in general. I mean, besides the fact that we know him better, he has a lot...
And also,
he has a lot more personality.
If you're going to be judging someone on morals or ethics, it's always going to be more interesting to judge someone like Loki.
Exactly.
Than the person who's been your hero for this run.
Yeah, the part probably the only part I liked in the issue, which is a spoiler for my thoughts on it, but besides the artwork, I really liked, Loki's like, if I could go back, I would change nothing. And I like that.
I love that.
I like that as well.
That was excellent.
And I mean, it was an answer I was expecting, but it was still just, hey, it's consistent. He's a bit of a bad guy. So, and I don't know that much about Marvel Loki, especially right now. So, but why don't we start from the start? The cover's pretty good. I mean, it's really nice, actually, the cover. I will have to get up who the artist for the cover is. I'm not sure. It's Michael YG.
Philip Tan.
Okay.
And Antonio Pavella.
Yeah.
There's 2 covers. 2 covers.
This is a normal cover, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Philip Tan.
And Alyssa Wong writer, Michael YG, and Marika Cresta artists, Chris Sotomayor color artist, and then the cover artists we listed before, Philip Tan and Antonio Favela, Michael YG and Jim Campbell are variant cover artists, Jay Bowen's the design, and editors. VC Stravis Lanham is the letterer. So this whole issue is it's basically what we've been talking about. It's Lin-Lei and Loki's judgment. And we start off with this before thing where the brothers in Kunlun, and they're like, oh, something's empty in him, and I didn't care. Like, I'm really... I
still don't care about him.
I read it, and I paid attention, because I'm going to give it its due. I'm not going to disrespect someone's work. But I'm not interested. Like, I'm really not. And, nothing in this issue grabbed me, because... Like, I don't really have that much new to say, because it's the same stuff I've been saying for the past few issues. It doesn't feel like Iron Fist. Danny's not there for one, but, the supporting cast has been lifted and replaced with Swordmaster's cast, and it's just not... It doesn't feel like Iron Fist. You can put Shao-Lao there, you can put the Fist there, and... Iron Fist is Colleen, Misty. Even if they're not there all the time... sure, there's stories where they're not there, but you still had Danny. So now we have no Iron Fist character, but the dragon.
Yeah, and even this scene taking place in Kunlun, it's irrelevant that it's taking place in Kunlun. It could be taking place anywhere.
Yeah, there's no characters.
There's no no one from Kunlun saying what's going on. What's,
No Dragon Kings or anything.
Standing
just
there
some...
being judged by Celestials or anything.
Yeah, even Sparrow isn't in this.
Yeah, because she's locked out, so that makes sense. But like,
well, I mean, yeah, but
yeah, I get your point.
Going back to the it feels completely just Iron Fist set dressing with these new characters.
Yeah, it's a Swordmaster story where he's gotten the power of the Iron Fist. Sure, the Iron Fist is a title and it's a legacy title, but really the Iron Fist comic is more than that. You know?
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah.
Superman without Clark Kent, without Lois Lane, without Perry White, like without... You know, like it you can have the name, but...
I just think that, as we kept saying, the five issues we've had for now, which should have been enough to establish him for us, hasn't enough.
Yeah.
And I think we all thought this would be the conclusion to that.
Yeah.
And it still leaves you hanging. And
it's
so
really
you've
not.
got this very unsatisfactory kind of like, okay, so he's the Iron Fist because we've been told he's the Iron Fist, but we don't know what's going on with Kunlun. Probably don't know if we ever will or where. You know, it feels very unsatisfactory. Like, we went in wanting to be won over, even despite, obviously misgivings about why it wasn't going to pay, if it was going to anyone, about how Heart of the Dragon played out. But, I think we all went in going, like, we are prepared to be, but it's just, the storytelling's so chaotic.
Yeah, we had plenty of warning that, like, it's like we read Heart of the Dragon, we did read Heart of the Dragon and go, what is this? But it's like we read this new Iron Fist series and we're caught off guard, like, what is this? Where's blah blah? Like, because we knew it, we expected it. The blow.
But I expected to be kind of introduced to him, see the fight with Xiao Lao or whatever with Xiao Lao, like how he got the mark. But it's just all been all over the place. We've got his brother that we don't really care about. We've got, and now we've got the Judgment and.
Yeah, and we've had no.
Go on.
We
Sorry,
just
go ahead.
don't feel enough of a connection to him to care.
Yeah. I would say we've had no, and we've talked about all this before, but no indication of how Lin is an improvement. Why we need him as the Iron Fist. There's been no indication of well, he's best suited to this role because we haven't had any of that.
We need him because Danny decided he didn't want to be it anymore. Because that's how it works.
Correct.
So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I get that. And this isn't really like a criticism, but it feels like the way this is done. It really feels like a young adult comic, like made for teens, and that's fine. That's just not the usual Iron Fist audience, though. So. Maybe like there's a younger audience that's really enjoying this. I mean, I'm not sure. Like I can enjoy comics like that. I just think it's been all over the place. Like if you did this new young Spider-Man Kyle Rayner type Iron Fist, I could get down with that. And there's I think that's kind of like what they're going for with his character. Like Lin Lei is like this sort of younger, more casual audience insert one, but. Obviously, it's not like that because we don't know what's going on, and everything's all over the place, and we're all annoyed on top of everything because we're the wrong audience for this,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I really enjoyed Immortal Iron Fists, and I thought that kind of channeled that same idea. You had, Pei was established to be, she was in high school, she's young, she's impulsive, she's. Trying to figure things out, and so we literally had that already.
That's a very good
point.
point.
That's what's so frustrating to me.
Better,
and not only is she Asian, she's Asian female, has the connection with Danny already established, has the connection with the dragon, and we had Gork.
Right, again,
the tragedy of her having to fight with Gork, and Heart of the Dragon just went nah. We're just giving it to some random.
Yeah,
and then trying to do the exact same thing, and it's not done nearly as well here.
I've been on the record of saying if they did do Heart of the Dragon and gave it to Pei, I still think it would have been too early because of the setup
I don't disagree, but I think it would have been a lot.
That's where I'm going
with the character. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with it is like she was a character. If you had to do it, like she had like a really good relationship with Danny to read about, and you could have continued Danny's story as well as hers, you know.
Right,
Yeah.
right, because they're
her
living
Iron Fist.
together. He's her parental figure.
I mean,
yeah,
he's
exactly.
basically her dad / Thunderer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look,
Which
screw
is a
it,
perfect role for him, you know.
Marvel. I'll do it. I'll do it for free, just for you guys. I'll write Power Man and Danny, and I'll get some. I'll get some guys. I'll get some Power Man fans together. We have Power Man fans who listen. They're awesome.
Oh, wait a second. What was my idea this morning? Randink.
Yeah, Randink.
Ooh.
Randink. Danny restarts
man.
Heroes for Hire, but obviously Luke can't be involved because he's now mayor, so it's Randink.
Oh man,
Right?
We could go,
I want that.
Was it the full-on ridiculous throwback where it's Charlie's Angels, but Danny is Charlie? You have like Colleen, Misty, and
Pay.
Pay. Yeah, it's like this ridiculous '70s throwback. I mean, that's
And also his entire kung fu class.
Yes.
Like go and help because they're fun.
I mean, like I would, yeah. I mean, silliness aside, like it's.
I genuinely want that though.
I miss my Iron Fist, and I miss my Iron Fist cast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not just Iron Fist, it's the cast as
well. My main sticking point, because we, you know, aside from what I think is the poor writing and everything, is just who's this for? Like, it doesn't seem like it's for Iron Fist fans. Is it for the people who don't read Iron Fist who complained about Iron Fist?
I don't know, because and are they reading it?
Well, I think they might have read they would have read articles about the first issue. You know?
Yeah, but the only person, so I know one person who read the first issue and loved it, and read the second issue and totally fell off and said, yeah, it fell apart a bit, and then didn't bother buying the rest. And I'm not. That's obviously they're younger than me, because everyone's younger than me, but they're in their 20s, but that's just. I don't know if that's the only other person I've really spoken to about it who I know read and enjoyed the first issue.
Yeah.
So I just don't know.
I think Alyssa Wong could write a good story here. I really do. Mm-hmm. You know, because I think if you, and I'm not like, I don't want to do that thing where like, oh, just do this in the movie and it's much better. Like, I don't want to write the comic for someone, you know, who's already doing it. But I just feel like if we focused on Lin Lee being this, you know, young new hotshot Iron Fist, and we had a bit of a passing of the torch thing with Danny and him, and you know them playing off each other being the story instead of this, and just have it like a basic story where he meets like all the old guard and you know he's exploring the mystery of like the Iron Fist and he's finding out things from like Luke and Danny and all these other people instead of having like this huge big stakes plot where you know there's demons taking over Kunlun and his brother's back, because it's so confusing and overwhelming, and it's like his first story and
I think a lot of it was the to and fro storytelling for me.
And it's so tied to Swordmaster.
I just wanted something a little bit more linear, saying even if it just started off with like, this is him, he's Swordmaster, this is why, and this is what happened this day, but it's just I found it hard to follow, and that meant I noticed all the bits that were missing. Like, why don't we know more about his brother? Why don't we know more about this? You know.
He's also going to meet up with someone called White Fox, and again, this is someone I have no idea who they are.
Right, so I know about this because I read the issue before his Iron Fist run, which is when the sword gets shattered.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see that, and that was a White Fox issue. So that's the only reason I know that. But there's, it's another character new to Marvel from about the same time as he entered Marvel, I think. So.
Right.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
That was actually a really good issue. Like, you know. So that gave me some hope for the Iron Fist run. And I think there's been good bits to it. The storytelling is not something I've really gelled with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's felt almost forced. Like they had this solid Swordmaster story going, and then they're being forced to shove Iron Fist into
Iron
it as
Fist
well,
in
and
there.
it's not working.
To be honest, that would
Which is
make more
unfortunate.
sense. If the Iron Fist aspect was like forced, it would make more sense because I just
Well, that's how it feels, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean,
I was just thinking like how is like this pitch good? Like let's give Swordmaster the Iron Fist.
mm,
It's so weird.
Yeah.
You know, it's just but I don't want to. I don't want to dwell on that too much because this is stuff we kind of said before, and we're saying it worse. Well, I'm saying it worse than I have the past few issues, which are more concise. Whereas this issue is like, okay, let's. So there's a bunch of Mjolnirs. It's not actually Mjolnir, I think, and it's not actually Xiao. So, but he does.
Which is
lift
its own
this-
separate issue.
He lifts this quote unquote Mjolnir, and Loki's like, "Who is this guy? How could he do this?" And I'm just like, I don't get him either. What makes him so great? You know?
I will say, I want his Iron Fist jacket. That's a very cool jacket.
it's a very
The
cool
one he's
jacket,
wearing on the
but
plane.
yeah,
I don't know why
seems
he
such a
has it,
Weird thing to be
but-
wearing. Like, where
Right.
did he buy it from? Who made it for him? Like, do they
He's all
sell
decked
them
out
in
in them.
Kunlun? Like, you know,
Right.
That was my
he
thought
also has the
too.
T-shirt as well. You know,
And also,
He's got the merch.
he's either it makes him look like he's either an Iron Fist fan or he's just like
it literally makes him look like he's an Iron
putting a
Fist
target
fanboy.
on himself or just advertising
Yeah.
the fact that
Yeah.
he is Iron Fist.
He's
Yeah.
labeling
Which
himself.
is kind of egotistical. Like, I get Daddy wore the costume everywhere because it was like the ceremonial garb. This is like,
Mm.
this is not very
Yeah.
ceremonial.
Yeah. But if Marvel did merch, I would want that jacket.
I mean, it's a great jacket. The T-shirt's pretty good too, but white. Not as into white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they fight. There's a thing where they're in Loki's memory and stuff, and then they have to fight Xiao Lao. They team up. Loki helps Linley beat Xiao Lao, but like it's weird how it works because he's like physically taking Xiao Lao's heart out with the swords.
Yeah, that was
Doesn't-
very strange.
Doesn't work
Not
like
how
that.
it works.
Well, I mean, maybe
No.
it works like that now, but it's never worked like that before. Again,
I think it worked like that right at the end of the last issue, but I wouldn't want to base my life on it.
I don't think this is actually Xiao Lao or Shulu, how you want to pronounce
No,
it.
it's not.
So,
No,
And that's the whole
Celestial.
thing. Is that it's if they were going for let's have him actually do the thing. It's not the actual thing though. This
I think
is
it
not
may
how
as
the
well
process
be.
works.
combat-wise, but yeah. Again, like, I'm not one of the Iron Fist fans who wants him to go through the same thing, because that would make it even more boring for me. Unless they...
For me, it's less of the let's keep this, detail for detail correct or anything. It's more the idea again of we're having someone new step into the role, someone with no connection to Kunlun. It's more of the kind of proving his worth in a way, not just to us the readers, but also just kind of. Because that's a key part of the Iron Fist story, and so seeing that part of the Iron Fist story told with this new character, and instead it's just being entirely glossed over pretty much, and just having him do the barest minimum
There's also
feels strange to me.
a bit too much of the writer going, look how great he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With like,
Yeah.
oh, Xiao Lao, you gave it to me willingly as a friend, and
Right.
oh, I can lift Mjolnir. It's like, we didn't really get that with Danny. All we got with Danny was like, he was a good fighter and he was really angry.
Yeah, right.
Like,
and,
no one was
and again,
really...
if they want,
Yeah.
and again, if they wanted a new Iron Fist who was friends with Xiao Lao, we had pay.
Yeah.
That... Oh, God. That was a special moment of Heart of the Dragon. That's for sure. That was...
Mm.
Anyway, look, for everyone listening now, to get the full picture of what we're saying and everything, listen from the start of our coverage of this limited series, because a lot of this is basically me rambling about stuff I've already said, so it's not really coming across as the best review. It's just kind of like, I'm at the end of this run of Iron Fist, and like my complaints are the same things I've been saying for a while, and I'm just kind of fatigued and not really enjoying it, which is why I'm,
Yeah, I think we're all just
Yeah.
kind of frustrated by it at this point.
I think I wanted this to be that final issue that
Yeah.
tied it all together, and
Yeah.
Because then we could move on from this plot
yeah,
line.
and then we can see like what
Uh-huh.
what he can do next. Like we have some idea of the potential of him for stories going forward, and right now it feels like we're going to be stuck in his story
Like,
that
I'm
we don't really
still
fully get for a while.
dealing with this Swordmaster story, and I just don't. Like, I'm not interested. It's not for me. It's not Iron Fist. I don't want to be wasting money on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, Marvel, I give you money for Iron Fist. Why you do this? But I went through that with Heart of the Dragon. So, yeah. Yeah. It kind of like felt like paying to get stabbed. Like, oh, can I get like a McChicken meal here and just stabbed you in the gut instead? You know, so that's Heart of the Dragon, by the way, not this. But yeah, like I don't have much to say about this. But again, on that note of like it's very disheartening that this wasn't the conclusion for this arc, because we've had the 6 issues now.
Yeah, we have nothing else that we know is coming,
which is,
either.
you know,
This is
the modern standard of like, okay, an arc's done in 6 issues.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a really long form thing like Warworld, which we won't compare this to. So yeah, it's like I like the idea of this issue. Like as I said, the idea of like every character being judged is great. And I guess it makes sense they do it here, but I don't care about this guy. Loki's cool, I guess, but I'm not here to read Loki. And like, geez, we really wanted this to be wrapped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really thought that's what it was. Because I don't see otherwise why you do a tie-in for this.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think this is it. This is what we were waiting for, even if it's not. Which is frustrating again.
Yeah. It's just a lot, and yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say like it's completely insalvageable, or unsalvageable, I should say. Like, but you know, again, my interest has just been thoroughly killed with the past few issues, and it's just I keep thinking, who's this for? I know it's for people who like Swordmaster, I know that much, but other than that, I don't know. Like, I see some people who like it, but trust me, it's not many that I see. The majority seems to be negative on this, especially among the Iron Fist community. Like, no one really seems to like it outside of like 1 or 2 people that I've seen. And you know, I mean, all I can do is, you know, we have 5 people on this podcast. I think it's safe to assume none of us have really liked it, right? So,
right.
That's 5 out of 5 Iron Fist fans. We all have different backgrounds, different countries. So it's not like we're the same kind of Iron Fist fan, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. I like the art. That's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Xiao looks incredibly cool in this issue. So that was nice.
And I always find it funny how he gets bigger every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, Michael Watch, he's a really talented guy. I think, yeah, his Xiao looks really, really great. I can feel his scales, you know?
Yeah.
So, not that I want to feel them, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about... we do have feedback from Omar as well. I think it's angry feedback. So that'll be fun. But do you guys go, because I've been talking a lot. So, even though I haven't wanted to talk, it just kind of happens.
I mean, I think, again, just I feel like we've said it all. It doesn't feel like an Iron Fist story, and it's frustrating that this is, as Iron Fist fans, this is what we have right now, and it's frustrating to see, I mean, not even just Danny, but the legacy of this comic get kind of muddled like this, and obviously, you know, this is just one blip in time for a series that's almost 50 years old. But it does feel like it has its direction is confused, and we don't know what the future will be, and it's hard to enjoy the story because it is so muddled, and it doesn't feel like what we're used to. And yeah, this issue, it's felt again like it's this random guy having this conflict that's unrelated to Iron Fist in an Iron Fist space in an Iron Fist costume, which has felt just, I mean, kind of disrespectful to the character, but also just very disappointing because it could be very cool, and instead it just feels incredibly random and muddled again. So yeah, I'm very interested to see where he'll pop up next, because I honestly have no clue where this story might go.
Yeah, no, I agree. What about you, Rebecca? She's off playing World of Warcraft, I bet.
Sorry, I had my mic muted because I was coughing.
Yeah.
No, so I feel really bad now because I was talking.
Oh, no.
But no, I feel like the same. I think even things like the Dragon brand's different. I think the picking up Mjolnir is just. Do we need it underlined 5,000 times that we're supposed to think
that
this guy is
pretty
super nice
over
and
the
good?
top, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it
That was
doesn't...
weird.
Like, I actually enjoyed reading this more than some of the single issues before.
Agreed.
Because the story within the comic mostly made sense, apart from obviously bits about why his brother's in Kowloon, like all the bits that we know we already don't know. But the fact that I really thought this would be... so we have some idea of what the status quo going forward is. And the only thing we really know going forward is that Lin Lee is both Swordsmaster and Iron Fist, and we don't know what any of that means. And that he needs to go find White Fox, so presumably we will see him. I mean, God, he's even got his headphones say Iron Fist on. What is he, like, Grand Iron Fist?
You've been Iron Fist for 2 minutes, buddy. Like, you're pretty proud of it.
Like, quickly, like, get Iron Fist written on everything. He probably has Iron Fist underwear. I like the Judgment thing, the whole concept's good, but I guess we're now going to see them in White Fox and Iron Fist or something. I don't know. But it's unsatisfying because I wanted it to tell me more. And I think they could have done that within the context of the Judgment thing. But who knows what comes next? I don't know. I'm not really that interested in him. Like, we've had 6 issues and it's not won me over. The comic I liked him most in was the one where the sword got smashed.
Yeah.
I do like Loki, so that did help.
I mean,
and I thought the Loki story was pretty cute. So
yeah.
If it wasn't for the podcast, I would have just dropped it.
If it wasn't for the podcast, I wouldn't have carried on reading it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'd have possibly read this one because of Loki. Yeah, I did. I cancelled the last issue.
I was going to say, didn't you say the arm really annoyed you? Do you want to tell us about that?
Sorry, that was one of the things that happened when I was muted. It didn't really annoy me, but I'm like, why does he have a different Dragon brand as well? Like, why can't we just have the same? Like, why can't we have something that we're used to? Why does everything have to change? Like, he's still got the same Iron Fist logo on his T-shirt, on his costume. So why has he suddenly got the dragon curled around his arm?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can I just say, we talk about how the Iron Fist has lost a lot of meaning because it kind of gets thrown around like a hot potato. That was a common complaint, and then Heart of the Dragon came out. Imagine how hilarious that was. But remember Okoye had it? Just reminding everyone. Which is pointless. But anyway, so that's kind of happening with Mjolnir too. I know this wasn't actually Mjolnir, but come on.
It's just a little way of just like a shortcut saying, look, the dude's worthy in a comic where they're being judged.
Yeah.
Like,
and
the last
there.
thing you need is like what Mjolnir has to say.
And I get it that
it's
Loki's
not even
there,
his
but
pantheon. Do you know what I mean? It's like
that's a good point. I miss Davos.
Yeah.
Stavros.
If he was here, he would just be tearing shit up, and
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we know he's up to no good wherever he is, but
Yeah, he's gonna be. I mean, we got this other person who is even less worthy than Danny now has it. He's gonna go ballistic.
God, his head will be spinning like a top. It'll be. But so let's get to this feedback from Omar, one of our co-hosts. What does Omar have to say? My thoughts on the Iron Fist axe type. Oh, this is long. Let me.
It's long.
Get a drink. Okay. My thoughts on the Iron Fist axe time one shot. It was a simple, straightforward story that was meant to show that Iron Fist was part of the crossover event. There was no reason for Loki to be there, though, and he made the story interesting. But since this was Lin Lee's story, this should have been more about his trial than Loki's, and so there was absolutely no reason for him to be there, other than to possibly sell the book by bringing in Loki fans. Lin Lee being able to lift Mjolnir and prove he is worthy, perhaps to imply he is worthy of the Iron Fist as well, seems like a tired old tool, something that more than a dozen characters in Marvel have done already. Poor Thor. As for Lin Lee's trial, it's a different take on how one becomes an Iron Fist, and I get that they want to do things their own way with the character who's thrust into the mantle. Sorry, I just find it quite corny that he feels that Xiao Lao, or Shulu, is his friend, and that Xiao Lao just gave him the power because he's worthy without truly earning it. It's a shortcut to make him an Iron Fist. It's a shortcut just to make him an Iron Fist, I should say. I thought we were getting a conclusion to the ending of the last series, but instead we get a standalone story that still leaves us with a hanging plotline. Why start a mini-series without a finale? I don't get it. There was so much riding on Lin Lee becoming Iron Fist, and they missed an opportunity to endear us to him by making his origin story... And they missed an opportunity to endear us to him by making his origin story one that's worthy of a martial arts master and warrior. It's not his fault, it's the way he was handled. Yeah, thanks, Omar.
Mm-hmm. That's really well said.
English is better than mine, despite the fact that he's from the Philippines, so, you know. I guess I'm Australian, whatever. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, poor Thor is a jobber like Danny, so...
Yeah.
We all remember the Moon Knight catastrophe that happened recently, so...
Yeah.
Oh boy. It was like, the jobbing in that issue set new records, that's for sure. We had Strange, Iron Fist, and Thor all being taken out in one issue, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But, anyway...
Yeah.
I could laugh at that at least, so... But... Yeah,
that was at least cool, and I could buy that because Khonshu was involved. So
I mean, there was like
a different power differential.
Sure,
but yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It was still kind of dumb.
This feels very different.
Yeah, but anyway, this is not the Moon Knight podcast.
No, that's another one which you listen to called Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I'm not on it for a while, but, you know.
Again, there's just not much else to say here.
No, so what else did we want to talk about? We wanted to talk about a extremely popular with me and Emma character from Iron Fist past that turned up in She-Hulk.
Yes.
El Aguia.
Love him.
Love him. Great in She-Hulk. Fab costume.
Yeah, I loved that take on his costume. It was
Really
very cool.
Good. Really cool. So, if you're watching Marvel TV and you want a random throwback to a character you didn't think we would ever see in live action, that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Full marks.
Full marks to Marvel for that.
I was really happy when I found that panel of Danny just punching Ella Gila in the head.
I mean, that is good too, yes.
And I was just able to, like, post that everywhere. It was like, this is how I feel about it. To be clear...
Grumpy pants.
I hate him because his character's a jerk. Like, that's why
I know.
Well, he that's part of his charm, though. He's an anti-hero. He does his own thing, and sometimes he's a jerk, and sometimes he's not. And I think that's incredibly fun.
He does his own thing in a stylish Spanish
flair. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
excuse me,
Yeah, that's like,
Elegila fan club members.
This,
Yeah.
this is an Elegilic podcast now. I'm
Oh
sorry.
no.
Yeah, yeah. Well, to be fair.
You know what? I'll do it.
Yeah.
It beats this, that's for sure.
Oh god, I don't know. I mean, what I still don't understand is why we don't know what's happening next, because this feels like there is something planned, right?
Yeah, it's just this big setup, and then
And
crickets.
then is he in that? Is he in Tiger Division? Do we know? Have a quick look. Who's in Tiger Division? There's a comic called Tiger Division coming up, or releasing next week, the week after. No, I don't think it does. Oh, it's got White Fox in. So it's the Defenders of South Korea, so no, it won't have him in.
Yeah, he's not.
I thought that might be a chance. I guess he might show up if that's where White Fox is. But if he does, it's still not his book. I just wondered if there was going to be like a group book that he would be in next, but no.
Yeah.
No idea. It just seems strange given how it ended that we don't really know what's happening.
Yeah.
And Alyssa's going to write Deadpool. So
that's cool.
Deal. Yeah. So that's about all we know.
What an abrupt shift. Going from Phantom, like everyone knows I love Phantom Limb. Going from that and like Ed Brisson's run to Heart of the Dragon, and this is like such a weird. It's like if you're in a volcano and you jump into a freezing lake, something bad's gonna happen to you. But again, though, unlike Larry Harmer, I have nothing against Alyssa Wong. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
She seems lovely and very enthusiastic about it. The storytelling didn't gel with me, and it sounds like with us. But it may be that maybe it's aimed at a much younger audience. Maybe it's aimed. I don't know.
And like,
I mean, I read a lot of things that are aimed at a younger audience, so I feel like for me at least that would not be the issue.
Right.
Because it's still so bloated and confusing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, I just find it very confusing. A really annoying sidekick. Friend. Still really annoying.
It's just, why is it just going for so long? Anyway, I guess we'll find out at some point in the future. Until then, though, we're going to be doing I hope everyone's been enjoying our Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. I'm not sure if you've been listening, Emma, but it's been a pretty wild ride.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that story. So absolutely.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen next, so.
No, I've not read it, so I'm very excited. I don't know why I never read them. Like I thought I had, and then we came to do the podcast on them. Like I've not read this, so I'm really having time in my life getting to read this new stuff that I just assumed I'd read.
I don't know how good it is yet because it's so weird, but it's like Living Weapon levels of weird.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. It's very, very different.
But so that's fun. But anyway, Luke Cage's 50th is coming up.
Yeah, and nothing's happened.
By coming up, we mean it's been this year, and
nothing happened. Right?
The year is not over yet.
They made him mayor of New York, I guess. That's it.
Yeah. Their big announcement for it was one single variant cover for Daredevil #4.
Wow.
By J. Scott Campbell, who is an artist I personally hate, so that was kind of insult to injury. But yeah, Is this because they've done nothing?
Have, a TV show? Is that why he's low priority?
It's very strange.
Because he's always been around. It's not like.
And he's a very kind of significant character historically. I feel like he's a very popular character, at least these days.
And if they want to, they want to push themselves as being, ahead of the curve when it comes to representation and stuff, and you're not celebrating the history of your biggest black hero.
Right. I mean, they didn't even get a black artist to do the variant cover. It's very, very strange.
Jesus.
So it's odd. And he's been bigger than Danny generally. He's bigger than Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
Except for around, I guess, the Immortal Iron Fist time, but Like he was leader of New Avengers and stuff. I know
Yeah.
like that's because Bendis loves him. But yeah, it's
but
just
he
it's
had a
odd.
really good
He's
run
had a-
there. Like, you know, he did a
Yeah,
he was a good
and-
leader of the Avengers.
Even though the
and
run
he's been in a
itself
lot.
sucked.
He has a pretty big presence on the street level Marvel side,
Yeah.
street level side of the Marvel universe. He's a pretty big character.
There's a playable character in all 3 Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, which are
Wow.
games which assemble like a diverse like cast of Marvel heroes. Daredevil didn't make all 3. Iron Fist didn't make all 3. Luke Cage did.
Nice.
So, well,
Interesting.
technically
it
Daredevil
kind of makes sense.
Daredevil did make all 3, but he was like a super rare unlock in the first game. So, well, not rare, but like you had to beat like 75% of the game to even get him. So,
So pretty
wow.
rare.
yeah. But yeah, so it's like he's not a small character. He's not A-lister, but he's like high B-lister for sure.
If you compare him to Ant-Man, and this is not to denigrate Ant-Man at all, I love Ant-Man, but Ant-Man got a miniseries for, because it's also Ant-Man's 50th.
Right, and Wasp got one as well.
And Wasp got
getting
one, yeah, which is very cool. I mean, it's about time.
Super
but
cool.
it's just
It is about time. It's actually disgusting that she's never had a standalone.
Right.
But, you know, yeah.
So that's fantastic. But it's, I mean, comparing, you know, the fact that happened,
and Iron Man's getting a run.
nothing.
I mean, Iron Man's getting a run, just, you know, referencing his anniversary distinctly, like directly. But then, I mean, Iron Man, because of the films, is a bigger deal. But yeah,
that is true. But yeah,
but they could have at least done an anniversary issue.
Yeah, I mean, the bare
like,
minimum.
Age, you know, stories, you know.
Right.
And what if
they could have done a big birthday party for him, and then had Danny do a chapter and Jessica have a chapter, and
yeah,
cool.
That would have been excellent. Yeah, that I would have absolutely.
The new
that would
have come round and hang out, you know.
Yeah,
a lot of people like Luke Cage.
I
like Luke Cage.
He's very popular.
Astute listeners to this podcast would know I didn't always like Luke Cage that much, but I quite like him now. You know, like he's popular. What can I say? And he was popular before the TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just weird on Marvel's part. It's really weird that there's just like nothing. And obviously, Omar's concerned about Iron Fist's 50th.
I'm very nervous.
Considering like we don't have Daddy as Iron Fist, it's like please
now.
celebrate Daddy on the 50th because it's him that's been Iron Fist for 50 years, not the legacy titles. So
it's gonna be terrifying.
Being an Iron Fist fan right now sucks. Not because of this comic, it just sucks in general. Like ever since the TV anyway, but yeah, so you know, we don't have to worry about that for a bit though. Hopefully they do something else for Luke Cage, but who knows?
Yeah.
They were running out of time real fast.
Yeah.
And they would have announced it by now.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, we have the the solicits. I think we only have one more round of solicitations for the end of the year.
No, I think we've already had December's.
Oh, have we already? Oh, so that's haven't been fully paying attention. But yeah, so
I think
that's it.
I think I just, or maybe not. Let me have a look. I'm on
think
my
so,
page.
but I haven't. I've been incredibly. Yeah, I've been super busy, so I'm definitely behind on the solicitations.
Yeah, no, we have had December's. Just checking there's no Luke Cage in them.
The very last second, shove something in there.
New event, Luke Cage is the Celestial.
No, he appears in the Namor issue in December.
Oh, that's. I mean, not sufficient, obviously, but that's cool.
That is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
he joins Namor in Latveria.
Oh, nice.
So that should be fun. But yeah, no, that's Marvel. You messed up.
What are you doing? Yep.
Give us Power Man and Iron Fist, baby. Bring it back. Not like the 2017 one though, which wasn't terrible.
I mean, Luke is the mayor. That would be incredibly cool to have one centered around Luke being the mayor and how that would shift things. Man, yeah.
Danny can be his bodyguard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Although,
I,
like,
yes.
I want
He is
this cast
bulletproof,
in the mayor's
so...
office. Well, I mean, for the look of the thing,
That's true.
he would find Danny a job to do in that context.
Yoga instructor.
He would. I'm surprised he didn't set him up as the head of the Thunderbolts, to be honest, but that wasn't story-wise
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Dark Horse should buy out Iron Fist. I've said it before. Iron Fist would be a good fit for Dark Horse. Just saying.
Yeah.
So, look, we'll move him with Luke Cage, don't worry.
Oh, good. I was going to say.
But anyway, so I think that covers us for this. Next time, Becca's on holiday, but by Iron Fist podcast standards, she's on holiday for long. So
for like one episode.
we'll probably be doing Heroes for Hire next. Hopefully, Emma and Omar can join us. Maybe Carl.
Yes.
Who knows if Carl's available? Hopefully, he is. And I think we're up to Heroes for Hire 10. Pretty sure our last one was with the Punisher, so which was good. So yeah, that'll be happy next time. Then obviously we'll be doing our Deadly Hands of Kung Fu as well, because that's been fun to like make sense of. Again, pointing out like, isn't this issue like double sized? This Axe issue?
Is it?
I don't think so. Maybe.
I think it's normal.
Maybe one and a. Yeah, it's 35. Yes. 33, 32 pages.
Oh, so a little bit oversized. Yeah.
Either way, those 12 Deadly Hands of Kung Fu pages take like twice as long to read as like modern comics, even modern oversized comics. So a testament to how light modern comics are, but also how weird and dense the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu is. So, until next time, may your sword fist propel you into the air like Superman. Peace.
Bye.
Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney. Any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders. We do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, anything you want really. It doesn't even have to be related to Iron Fist. If you don't want it read on the air though, make sure you mention that. You can also find us on Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon. Our Twitter, @Iron Fist Podcast. Our SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon, hyphens where the spaces are. Our YouTube, Connor Carl. Just search Iron Fist Podcast and you'll find us real quick. We are also on iTunes. If you find us there, give us a review and rate us. If it's less than 5 stars, please say why so we can improve the show. And we're on Podcast Garden in the literature section, and last but not least, head over to our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. That's where I put all the show notes. I'd like to thank Thomas Tissot for composing the Iron Fist theme song we use at the start of our Iron Fist episodes on the podcast. I'd also like to thank Peter John Sikorsky for composing the Power Man and Iron Fist theme we use at the start of our Power Man and Iron Fist episodes. And finally, thanks to you guys for listening.